Hello everyone, Barbara Drake here. Today I'm going to be using the Wild and Sweet Stampin' Up! Cling stamp set to make a card, and I'm going to be using the koala bear this time. And we are using the Fabulous Frames dies, and I'm using this die right here. And if you wondered what these are up here, these are little corner pieces. It will cut 4 out, and they used to, if you can recall, because I have an old punch that used to punch these out. So you can see they have a little design in them right there, in case you didn't know what those were. And I am using the embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder Timber. Let me get that back in before I lose that. And for the cardstock, here we go. I'm using a A2 size card base, basic gray. Here is a piece of smoky slate, 4 by 5 1/4. This is a piece of basic white that I already embossed with that Timber embossing folder, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And this is just a piece of basic gray that you need that's large enough to cut this piece out right here. And when it cuts out, it's going to cut out the 3 pieces, and this is the piece that I'm going for right here. Now you can save this for another project, and of course this square here, it is 2 3/8 by 3 inches. So the first thing we're going to do, well, maybe I'll go ahead and stamp first, because if that doesn't turn out right, just take a piece of basic gray, and I am using Memento, and you can use your Stamparatus if you want. Let me show you something. On the cards, the previous video that I did, I had just showed you the cards that I made, and I told you what I used in that video. I stamped them out in Memento, and here's the koala bear here. It took several tries for me to get it, and I did use a Stamparatus on these cards here, because I ended up getting a new Memento pad, because it was I was getting lines in my image. And I don't know if it's because the way you're patting down and then you're turning it and it's making lines. I don't know, but the new pad seemed to work. This pad here seemed to work a lot better. You can use your Stamparatus. The harder you press, the darker the image is going to come. It's just a matter of playing around to know, the right pressure. If you go too light, then it's not going to turn out. If it's too light, that one turned out okay. It looks like it's got a few little lines there in his up in there, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to use blends on him, and for the tree, I am going to, let me go back to this one here, because I really like the color of the tree on this one. I used the ivory. The tree on this one, which I really like, is Cinnamon Cider, which is retired. I would like to use that on this one, but being when this video goes up, it will already be retired. So I'm going to use dark crumb cake. I'm going to try the dark crumb cake on the tree. I'm going to use the brush end. Actually, you really don't have to use any coloring at all. These images are really detailed, that to really show the detail off, you don't need to do any of this. And I'm not doing any type of shading. Just going through here just to give it some color, and I'm going to fussy cut this out, and when I do, I'll speed up the video. because he's going to go inside of that frame that I used that die cut on. The cinnamon cider had a reddish tint to it that I really liked. And I'm going to use, that was the dark crumb cake. This is the new parakeet party. I'm going to use that for the leaves. If you can see, hopefully I was in view there. My eyes are so bad, I really got to get down close to it to see. And what I'm going to do for the koala bear, I'm going to use a little bit of ivory around his face. If you just go to Google for images of koala bears, you'll see some of them have this brownish color around their face area. And actually you can go up around the ears too. Then I'm going to take the dark gray granite and I'm just going to go around the outside of his whole body with kind of like just kind of little flecks like that, because that's the way you can see his fur is going. And as you know, these blends they'll run towards the inside there of his body. That's why I really like the cinnamon cider, because this is he looks like he's blending right in with that tree. Just going to go around the outside outline, his arms. I'm going to go back with that dark crumb cake, because I can see I need to get in this tree here where his claws. You can always get the stamp set out and get a closer look of the image. You can see here his claws. You can see, looks like his thumb is going up right there. And then there's 2 claws there. Then on this claw there, it looks like there's 3 of them. And it's kind of hard to see with the colors that I used. So let me go back to that. I want to go switch now to the light smoky slate, and then just go around where I did the outline and just kind of bring it in a little bit. So the lighter your image is when you go to stamp it out. I personally think it's better if it's lighter, but then again, if it's darker like this, you can just leave it alone. You don't have to do anything with the blends. See, I can see that line there. That probably came from the ink pad. And I think I'm going to leave his eyes alone. I think that looks okay. You can see that there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this out, and I'm going to speed up the video. Okay, now that that is done, Let's get our pieces back here. We are going to take this was the 3 1/4 by 5 basic white, and I am going to take using crumb cake and a blending brush, and I'm just going to use really light pressure. I just want to get just a little bit of brown on here, so it shows the little bit of the bark in the tree, the lines here in the tree, and so that it's not so white. And then where you have these, I'm not sure what the marks are called in the tree there, but you can put a little more pressure on those if you want those to stand out a little more. And then next, let's see, we are going to use the rubber band technique. And this is not new. This has been around for quite a while. I'm just taking the block here, your stamping block, and I'm just taking different size rubber bands, and you just put them all the way around your block. Since I already have one done, it's going to look something like this. And it's going to give some lines on your cardstock here. You pick whatever side I've got going here, and it's going to kind of look like sticks or bamboos, I think. Just turn them every which way here. There's no right or wrong. And I think that's going to be about it. Get a couple more down there. So that was with Pear Pizzazz. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Clean off my stamp. So now we can start putting our card together. This is going to go on here like this. Let's get this in the right order. And I'm going to use the liquid glue for this. Get the frame on. He's going to go in here, just going to sit in here like that. I could probably get him to come down a little bit. The problem is getting it glued down. Now I see a lot of people use these. They put their liquid glue in here. Make sure when you glue this, you're gluing the correct side. See the design here? That's the outside. So I think what I'll do, at least with this glue, with that tip on there, you don't get very much out, which is nice when you're working with small pieces of cardstock. So I'm just going to put that down first. Try to get this straight. All right, now I don't have this piece down here glued yet. I think what I'll do, I'll get the panda or the koala bear, get some glue on. Now, what I did for that other card, I had, I guess I don't have it anymore. I needed that leaf. I wanted to put a leaf up like one of those leaves there. So I need to get that cut out, and I'll do that right now. Well, I thought I paused the video, but I actually stopped it, so let me go over what I said. These are the seasonal labels die. They are on page 174 in the new catalog, and I used this die right here. I cut out a bunch of them with a pair of pizzazz, and I did two things with them. I used the new stamp set. It's called Nature's Print, and it's on page 91 in the new catalog. It has a fern stamp in it, fern, and I just stamped over it just to give it some design. Then what you can do if you wanted to, I ran it through the Fern 3D embossing folder, and that just gives a little bit more texture. And then I just used one of those sponge daubers and went around the edge with the pair of pizzazz. So that's what I did, and I used mini dimensionals and stuck it up there like that. So it makes a great masculine card. There's no ribbons or bows or anything on it to make it look feminine if you wanted to give it to a man. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the card. And if you do not have a demonstrator, I'd love to earn your business. I will have all of the products listed below the video if you're interested in any of them. If you have any questions, you can also leave a comment down below in the comments section. So I'd appreciate a thumbs up if you like the video. And until next time, bye.